Hello and good evening. Welcome to our Friday night coverage review of the Friday night action in the League of Ireland. I'm here at Tolka Park, where we've had a rare thing, a Derry City away win. We also have Seán O'Connor at Tallaght Stadium, where we've had a not so rare Shamrock Rovers win, with another, well, not with a clean sheet, but another win. So the story here really is very much pressure eased on Tiernan Lynch after a rough few weeks, after a rough season. They've got to win. More misery for Shelbourne in particular. That's 3 defeats in a row. We'll come back to Tolka Park in a minute, but I suppose, Sean, we have to start with the Champions League leaders, near sold out Tallaght Stadium. You saw the action there. What was the story at Tallaght Stadium tonight?
Oh, Aidan, I just need a minute to take my breath here. Like, absolutely chaotic game, brilliant mental battle between it's the biggest game in Irish football, and you really felt it here tonight. Like, I looked to my right there, and the South stand are really enjoying themselves. Usually at these big derbies and big games like this, the away section have to hold on for 10-15 minutes to make sure they exit the ground safely. And there's a few home fans really enjoying themselves over there. But just, I suppose, on the game, like, speaking to Steve Bradley yesterday, he said these games are often decided on big moments, and they really went the way Shamrock Rovers tonight. I think the pivotal moment of this game is the 44th minute. Graham Burke, 5 minutes in, giving Rovers the lead, and brilliant shot from the edge of the box. But on the 44th minute, Jordan Flores hits the post from a header, and inches from making it 1-1. And then 10-15 seconds later, up the other end, Danny Grant wins a penalty. Controversial penalty. Dawson Devoy seeming to clip his heel a little bit, but I think the studio on Virgin, Damien Duff and Brian Kerr, were a little bit divided on it. From what I saw,
Devoy seemed to be very exercised after as well.
And then 15 seconds later, it's 2-0 to Rovers, and you think from there, okay, the experience they have, the know-how, they'll hang on to that and possibly add a third. But it was Bohs who came out brilliant second half, really new energy, new spark, couple of substitutions as well, and they had a couple of chances but just really couldn't break the deadlock. We were speaking in the preview about that, just that cutting edge in front of goal. Colin Whelan makes a nervy end and pull one back with a late penalty, but Bohs will be really hurt over this one because it's been a tough couple of weeks for them. I think they turned up tonight. They really put it up to Rovers. Rovers really good first half an hour, dominated. Bohs coming out second half, really good. Bohs, I think the thing that really frustrates them is just the lack of cutting edge in front of goal. For Rovers, they did have to hang on a good bit, but the moments went their way and they remain at the top.
I only saw snatches clearly because I was watching the Shelbourne Derry City game, so we'll talk about that in a minute. So I saw moments of the game. What I did saw was Victor Ojavanuna. I thought he was out of it really when the clubs first met earlier on. I thought Ross Tierney really marked him out of the game, bossed him out of the game. But the bits I saw tonight, I thought Victor looked very good on the ball. Maybe that was wrong. I'm just judging on moments here and there when it was quiet here at half time. But to me, Victor looked like he was very good tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Like, as I said, Rovers really good first half an hour. Like Jack Byrne, Corey O'Sullivan as well. Roberto Lopez making forgot to mention a goal-saving block in the first half. Michael Noonan just showing experience beyond his years, really putting it up to fellas nearly, good bit twice his age almost. Graham Burke with his 101st and 102nd goals for the club. Damien Duff waxing lyrical about the Dubliner on Virgin, I think, comparing him to players he played with like Alan Shearer and so on. Danny Grant really good as well. A slight concern over Matt Healy, first game he's missed since October. We'll speak to Bradley shortly, see what the crack is there. But yeah, Rovers really didn't have it all their own way. Bohs did turn up in the second half, but I suppose the damage was done in that first half. Dawson Devoy will be absolutely raged with the penalty. He was apoplectic coming in at half time, really made his feelings known to the fourth official. He was furious. Would like to see a bit more from Douglas James Taylor, Ross Tierney. Zane Morris was kind of hot and cold a few moments. Colin Whelan comes on and makes his impact. But these games always come down to fine margins, and they just went the way of Rovers tonight. But I suppose, Aidan, the story at Tolka Park is a much needed win for Tiernan Lynch, and more, I suppose, questions for Shelbourne.
Yeah, and I think a lot of questions around Tiernan Lynch. I mean, real unhappiness around Derry at the moment. I've referenced that in my report and in the content we have here tonight. I mean, some of the Derry media here were saying there was only about 50 Derry fans here tonight, which is the lowest I've seen at a Premier Division game in a long time. A couple of buses. Just it's been such a poor season. A lot of things going wrong for Derry. Huge questions, and I think people are wondering how long Tiernan Lynch had, how patient, if they'd lost tonight and lost at home in inverted commas in Celtic Park next week, because obviously Derry have that spell now in the GA Stadium in Derry. I think Lynch will claim a lot of the credit tonight. I thought they were really well set up, the three at the back, particularly Patrick McLean and Stott Barr. They were really very good. They really snuffed out anything that Shelbourne had. Shelbourne really, for first half was Shelbourne very poor in the first half. Shelbourne just really weren't at it. They were a bit better in the second half. Jarvis came on for Dan O'Kelly. Shelbourne had a really good spell at the start of the second half. It looks like they're going to get into it. A lot of things going for them. They had that the decent home crowd. As I said, only about 50 Derry fans here tonight. And Shell's just let it go away from them. Same old story you've had from Shelbourne, just a real lack of conviction. And I think the moment really turned. Three substitutions. Tiernan Lynch made three at on the hour. Darren Markey and Depot and Akiniemi were two that came on. If people see the clip of the winning goal for Derry, I mean, very poor defending from Shelbourne. Cameron Ledwidge tries the clearance, hits off Darren Markey, falls to Depot. Brilliant finish, from the angle. It reminded me of Van Basten in Euro '88 with that kind of edge of the box.
Yeah.
Really looking. He took a second to think about it, and it was a brilliant finish.
Brilliant
finish from him. So that really has, and I think. Derry took control then the show. There were really a lot of questions asked about the character of the Derry City players, of the management team. They answered a lot of that tonight, and really Shelbourne really are looking like they're leaking goals, they're conceding soft goals. They don't look like the team. Damien Duff was talked about on TV tonight about his team, his impression on them. We still haven't really seen that. 3 defeats in a row. I don't know where Shelbourne are going to go from here, and as they look, as Bohemians and Shelbourne cope with these defeats. I suppose the other stories we have to look at are St. Pat's winning away to Drogheda, and you probably have to start with Dundalk at home to Galway United. Another win for Dundalk, who are really unlikely contenders for the European places, Sean.
Just incredible form. I think if you talk to most Dundalk fans pre-season, obviously the main objective was just retaining their Premier Division status this season, and now it's very early days still, Aidan, but now I suppose fans be getting giddy about a possible European spot, and checking out their passports still in date for 2027. Obviously there's still a long way to go, but that's now I think 5 wins in 7 games, 5 wins and 2 draws in the last 7 games for Dundalk. 2 late goals from Declan McDade. Stephen Walsh pulled one back for Galway late on, but it wasn't to be. The job Kieran Kilduff is doing at Oriel Park is remarkable. Like his still early on in his managerial career, and to create that dressing room vibe, the blend of youth and experience, and just play with a fearlessness. Those results are so impressive, Aidan.
And a lot of teams are soft at the moment. I think we said before the game, we said in our preview that the criticism from St. Pat's fans of their team was that they were too easy to play against. They're too soft. They answered that really tonight with that win in Drogheda. But Dundalk, really nobody wants to go and play. Nobody wants to go to Oriel Park. I don't think anyone wants to play Dundalk at home either. They really are playing with that confidence, that freedom. Players like Arubi and players like that. I know we didn't score tonight, so sometimes the young players step up. Arubi, Spate, people like that. Tonight was the old head David McDade, League of Ireland slogger's been around for a while to do it. We should mention, I suppose the club also struggling are Drogheda United. They made a change tonight. Luke Dennison's been number 1 for the guts of 18 months now. He was on the bench tonight. I'm not sure was that injury or form selection. Did a new goalkeeper in tonight. It didn't go well for them. St. Pat's really answered back with that 3-1 win. Aidan Keenan back among the goals, and St. Pat's, I suppose, will be, as they look now to playing Bohs next week, St. Pat's will wonder after the little blip, 2 defeats and 2 games without a goal, are St. Pat's back to the St. Pat's they can be.
Let's see, Luke Dennison was on the bench for Drogheda. We'll have to wait and see what the news is from Kevin Doherty on that. But Aidan, after those back-to-back defeats to, I think, Dundalk and Shamrock Rovers, I should say, St. Pat's are really hurting over that and really want to bounce back, and that's exactly the response Stephen Kenny would have wanted to see. Aidan Keenan scoring after 30 seconds. He missed a couple of games with injury, coming back, getting off the mark, making his mark. Conor Keeley own goal. He's been in incredible form since signing for Drogheda. We rarely see incident like that for him. And Keane Levy with a brilliant strike. He's been in and out with injury as well. Keane Levy, super strike there, 3-0 up at half time. Brandon Kavanagh pulls one back. But I suppose for St. Pat's, that's a huge win just to settle things down. The form did take a little bit of a blip over those 2 games. That's a really crucial win just to get the good vibes back. There's a kind of a run of games coming up for them in terms of Bohs at home, Galway away, Shamrock Rovers away. So there are probably, with all due respect, there's a couple of games there they'll want to kind of get back on track and get a run together.
That's it. So we've looked at the games tonight. Obviously, a game to come on Saturday as well. Sligo and Waterford with QR code there. You can check out all the action and reaction over the weekend. Happy Derry City fans heading up the road. Happy St. Pat's fans heading back to Dublin. Bohs fans a little bit bruised. Galway again with a defeat, and we'll do the goal next weekend. So thanks to Seán O'Connor. You can follow we'll have all the reaction from the managers and players on the Irish Independent over the weekend. As again, check out the QR code there. Thanks for watching.